welcome back. We are now on lesson 5 of our fractions unit. This is going to be modeling fractions. Some skills you should already have for this would be from lesson 1, your fraction vocabulary still, and lesson 4, the last video, equivalent fractions and simplifying. Why do you care about this? Well, drawing and being able to draw fractions is going to help you with comparing and ordering them when we get to that. It's also going to be great for spatial reasoning, and it's going to help to deepen your understanding of the concepts that we're working on with fractions, not to mention make it easier for you. That's the whole point of this one, make it easier for you. Goal of this lesson is to help you improve your understanding of fractions and relative values, one versus another, through modeling, and then finally provide strategies for drawing fractions with various denominators. So with that said, let's start. One of the easiest things to do is to draw parts of a set. Okay, so you might get a picture like this, or it'll be a picture of apples and oranges instead of black circles and white circles. Okay, but it'll say, you know, what is the fraction of black circles, or what fraction of circles are black? So for that, it's just really easy. Remember, parts of a set, you count the ones that they asked for. The black would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of a total of the rest 6 and 7 more. So that would be 5 out of 7 are black. And of course, the flip of that would be that there are 2 out of 7 that are white. Those are parts of a set. And you can, if you're asked to do parts of a set questions, ask to model it yourself. It's real easy. Draw however many circles there are total, and then color in the kind that they want. It would be real easy like that. Or if you're a little more artistic, black and white circles are good for me. But if you're more artistic, you could do apples and oranges, you could do cows and horses, whatever you want, okay? Whatever makes sense for you, whatever you like and whatever you are interested in, that's going to help you best understand and remember how to do these things. Let's move on to drawing parts of a whole. Now, this is a little bit harder, okay? There's going to be a couple of fractions that are pretty easy to draw, and we're going to start with 1/2. Drawing 1/2 is going to be real easy. Notice I have circles. Circles are great because they break down evenly, okay? You'll learn more about that once we get to geometry and circles. And again, this is not going to be for exact measurements. I can show you how to find exact sections of a circle for whatever denominator you want. We're just not going to worry about that today. This is for quick and easy comparison purposes and helping you better draw. Okay, so for 2, we're going to put 2 dots. One on the top, one on the bottom. We're going to cut it in half. Pretty simple, right? I'm going to shade in one part of it for my 1/2. Okay. Now, we're going to go to 3, 1/3. The best way I like to do this is start with your 1 dot at the top and just kind of draw 2 circles down, or draw 2 lines down. I'm going to just kind of do a couple dotted lines to show you what I mean. Just kind of go to the sides and then try to make one that's about the same. Draw some dots, okay? We're not going to connect those dotted lines. In fact, now I'm going to erase them for you because that's not where the lines are going to connect. Now what you have to do is you have to draw a little dot right in the middle of the circle and connect it from the middle going out, and you're going to end up with a pretty good peace sign, Mercedes-Benz symbol, whatever you like. Okay? Finally, let's do 1/5. You'll notice that I skipped 1/4, and I'm going to tell you why I'm skipping 1/4. 2, 3, and 5 are prime numbers. To get to 4, it's going to be real easy. 1/4 is just 2 halves. Okay, if I do it in half this way and draw another, draw each one. So I like to make a dot in the middle. It's always best to make a dot in the middle. I know that I need to make each one of these. One more. Dot in the middle, draw it out, we've got our 1/4. So let's do it for 1/6 as well. 1/6. We're going to start with our 3 the exact same way. I kind of draw a couple of lines. You can see me in the webcam kind of drawing the lines. Draw the one in the middle, I'm going to connect it out. Now I know that 6 means twice as much as 3, so I need to cut every single one of them in half. So that means I'm going to draw one more dot along the edges here. And again, I'm going to draw out from the edge like that, and you're going to come up with a pretty good representation of 6ths, okay? This is not going to be perfect again, but it's going to work for you. Hopefully this gives you a little shortcut on how to draw some of the more difficult ones. What are you going to do, though, if instead of 6 you need 9? Well, the easiest prime factor of 9 to use is going to be 3. So I'm going to go back to the 3. I'm going to change this to a 9. Now, 9 is 3 times bigger than 3. So that means I need to make at least 3 spots, right? I need to make this one into 3, and this one into 3, and this one into 3. So to do that, I'm going to have to draw 2 more lines. So knowing that I have to fit 2 dots in here, I'm going to kind of just use my eyes, and I'm going to draw some dots on the circles before I start drawing. And remember, you can connect from the middle out. The middle out. Again, not perfect, but pretty good. Okay? Not perfect, but pretty good. It'll definitely be good enough for your purposes if you're just drawing a model. Although once you get into bigger denominators like this, I wouldn't compare fractions that way. I would use, I would find equivalent fractions with common denominators. Okay? 1/5. Think of a star, how there's a couple dots out here, a dot at the top, and then a couple dots at the bottom. Put a dot in the middle, more or less, connect them out. You're going to come out with fifths. Not perfect, but pretty good. Next prime number, see we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 6 already. 7 would be the next. Now here's the deal with 7. It's kind of difficult to imagine 7. And in fact, I'm going to suggest you don't even model 7 this way because it's too difficult. But what I do want you to do is to take these extra spaces that you have. Down here, I want you to do 1/10. So practice drawing the 5 just like you did with the dots. Okay, like this. Think of the star and the dot in the middle. And then do what I did for the 6 or the 4. Put a dot, cut it in half. And then I'm going to want you to do another one. I'm going to make you do, this will connect up with the 1/4 and the 1/2. I want you to do 1/8. So I want you to try to cut these 1/4s. Figure out how you're going to cut those in half. Okay. And then finally, I want you to try to do 1/12. Okay, those are going to be your challenges. Think about this. You've got 4. How many different sections do I need to make out of each one of these 4 parts to get to 12? Okay, that's going to be a challenge for you in your homework. Finally, we're going to start working on modeling fractions on a number line. Okay, so we've got 3 different dots on a number line. As you can see, it comes out right here. I'm going to make these a little bit darker for you, the whole numbers. Now, you might get a problem where you have a worksheet or a teacher asks you, well, what is A? Well, A is in between 11 and 12, so we know it's going to have at least 11 for your whole number. So this is going to be an example, again, of a mixed number. You're going to have a whole number, and we're going to have to put a fraction to go with it. And the thing you're going to want to do is find your denominator first. You're going to count steps. How many steps from 11 does it take to get to 12? And so I'm going to use the red, and I'm just going to count out 1, 2. I'm going to change what I just did there, and I'll show you why. I'm going to count them on the bottom to help me remember that it's the denominator and it's going on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It took 10 steps for me to get there, so my denominator is going to be 10. Now I'm going to count the steps on the top for the numerator, because that goes on top. 1, 2, 3. I have 11 and 3/10. Now your teacher is going to be satisfied with that answer because it is already reduced. 3 and 10 have no common factors, so you can't reduce it. But now if we look at B, if they ask you for B, get this line back in there for you. B, if we count it out, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps out of 10. So B, let's do this for you, organize my thoughts a little bit. B is going to be 11 and 5/10. Now your teacher may not be satisfied with that answer because it's not in lowest terms, right? So you're going to want to reduce it. The greatest common factor of 10 and 5 is 5. So you're going to want to do some division here for simplifying. Divide each by 5. Remember, when we divide, we're going to go straight across. That's going to give us 1/2. So B equals 11 and 1/2. There you go. Your teacher will be satisfied with that. I'm very sure of it. And lastly, for C, that one shouldn't be too hard for the students who are in my class. I'm going to ask you to bring that back tomorrow with the right number done. Okay? I'm telling you what C equals. All right? Thanks very much. Now, lastly, you might be asked to draw a fraction. So I'm just going to come up with 8 7/8. Okay? I just picked that randomly. So what I'm going to want to do is I know that 8 is going to be below and 9 is going to be above because this fraction is going to put us somewhere. So first I'm just going to draw 2 lines, 8 and 9. Okay, 8 and 9. Now what we're going to have to do is split up this space 8 times evenly. And one way to do that is going to be, luckily 8 is a multiple of 2, so we're going to be able to kind of cut it in half. So that would be 1 1/2. Now if we cut these in half, now we've got 2 times 2, that's 4 different steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we cut 4 in half again, we get to do 8. So 1, 2, 3, cut those all in half. So now I have 8 total steps like we did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total steps to get there. And my fraction calls for 7 steps for the numerator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to put my dot right there, and we're going to name this point D. Okay, we're going to name it D. Very good. Now I'm going to do another one real quick with a different denominator to show you how I might do that. 8 was a really easy one to work, so we're going to work with the point E now, and I'm just going to say that point E is 6 5/12. Now 5/12 is going to be a lot more difficult. Okay, you can use some of the skills you found earlier. Prime factorization for 12 is going to be 3 times 2 times 2. So what I'm going to propose you do is put on a line and name it 6. Put on a line and name it 7 because we know that 6 and 5/12 is going to be somewhere in between there. Now again, we need to split up this space. All of this space needs to get split up 12 times evenly. We're going to use our prime factorization to help us split up that space. We're going to start with 3. Okay? We're going to start with the harder one first. It'd be easier to cut it now, but we want to do the harder one first. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it. Watch on the webcam portion right now. Okay, I'm just going to kind of look. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you just kind of, in your brain, try to split it up evenly, it'll work not so bad. So now, I've got 1, 2, and 3 different spots for that first one. I'm going to cross it out to help me remember that I've already split it up the right amount of times. Okay? Now, I need to change each one of those 3 spaces. I need to make it into 2 spaces. So, I'm going to split it, and split it. All done. Cross it out. Now, for all of those spaces that are there again, I need to split it in half again because of that 2. So I'm going to cross out my 2. I'm going to split it, split it, split it, split it, split it, and split it. Now, you should have, since you did 3, 2, and 2, you should have 12 total spaces. We'll check it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. And we need to walk across 5 of them for our point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Put your dot on, label it E, and you're all set. I hope that was really helpful to draw those fractions with the different denominators and come up with a way to draw them on the number line. Hope you guys have a great day. Come on in tomorrow with any questions you have. Thanks much.